Welcome to this urgent explainer brief. We are hitting the ground running right out of the gate today because, well, we're tracking some really fascinating live connection status data. We've literally got incoming intelligence on a developing digital handshake, and we're going to break down exactly what's happening in real time as this connection attempt unfolds. So let's just dive right into the data.
Okay, let's look at this initial intercept. Just a moment. You know, it's such a simple phrase, right? But it actually signals a totally critical pause. It's a temporary suspension in our digital transit. When we see this holding pattern, we instantly know a security protocol is actively evaluating the connection request. It's kind of like waiting at the security gate at the airport while your credentials, in this case, your IP reputation and browser fingerprints, are being rigorously scrutinized. So we're in a state of pure suspense here, just tracking the telemetry to see if that gateway is actually going to open for us. And, okay, we've got a positive breaking update. The incoming data just confirmed it. Verification successful. That initial security check has officially cleared. The system analyzed the incoming request, vetted the origin, and actually granted that absolutely crucial first stamp of approval. That is a major hurdle cleared in this live connection attempt.
Which brings us to Section 1, the holding pattern, awaiting the destination response.
Now, what's really interesting about this next phase is that despite successfully clearing that rigorous first line of security, the connection is, well, it's basically locked right now. We're seeing a really stark contrast in the live data between two simultaneous statuses. On the local side, we've got the victory, right? Verification successful. We did our part, we passed the test. But looking at the external front, we're seeing this pending, unresolved variable, waiting for OpenAI.com to respond. So the initial perimeter is totally secure, but the final destination just hasn't actively engaged yet. We are completely at the mercy of the destination server right now. It is such a fascinating, real-time look at the two-way street of digital communication. I mean, our end is verified and good to go, but we're just holding, waiting for the recipient on the other side to acknowledge us and finalize the whole handshake.
Moving on to Section 2, actionable intelligence, technical requirements to proceed.
Okay, so this brings us to a really critical pivot in our tracking. The intelligence we're monitoring indicates that breaking this holding pattern isn't entirely up to the destination server. Actually, scratch that, it's heavily dependent on your local setup. So the crucial point is this: there are two non-negotiable technical settings that absolutely must be active on your end to clear this bottleneck. First up, you've got to enable JavaScript. This is required so the security gateway can run complex background calculations. Think of them as invisible math puzzles that basically definitively prove you're a real human and not just some automated bot trying to scrape the system. Second, you have to enable cookies. This allows your browser to physically hold on to the secure pass token once you ace that invisible test. Without these two tools active and doing their thing in your browser environment, the connection process is just going to fundamentally stall out, regardless of that successful verification we tracked earlier. These are quite literally the mandatory keys to unlocking the gateway and moving forward.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact chronological timeline of this connection event. We can totally map how this whole thing unfolded. Step 1 initiates that initial just-a-moment holding pattern. Then, Step 2 grants us the local verification successful clearance. Step 3 drops us right into the external suspense of waiting for OpenAI.com to reply. And finally, Step 4 provides the definitive, actionable solution to break the deadlock, enable JavaScript and cookies. It perfectly maps out the journey from the very first ping to the final required action on the user's end.
So, we've tracked the status quo, we've seen the successful verification, and we now know the exact technical requirements demanded by the network. The connection is holding. It's waiting for those precise conditions to be met locally before it lets anyone through the gate. Which leaves us with one final, provocative question to close out this intelligence brief. Are your JavaScript and cookies enabled to continue?